Hey everyone. Since you're all on lockdown, I figured I would take a little video of the art books that I am currently reading, in case any of you are looking for some inspiration. I have four of them. The first one is The Secret Lives of Color by Cassia St. Clair. I really like this book. Rainey got it for me for Chris Mahana Kwanzaa Festivus, I believe. This woman was a fashion designer and got really into finding out about the history of color, where colors come from, how they were made, in the traditional sense. There are a lot of things that I really like about this book. One is that it is color coded and broken down in different sections, yellows, whites, things like that. I highly recommend this book to anybody who is interested in color. So if you see color, for those of you who can't, maybe you don't care, but if you see color and you want to learn more about colors and where they came from, this is a great book. It's gotten a lot of use. I take it to the dog park. It's very dirty. Let's see. The next book that I have, been making a lot of my own paints lately, and I've been exploring some alchemy and just different organic methods. This book is really cool. It didn't do a lot for me. It was full of a lot of shit that I already knew. Really like this artist's artwork in the sense, I'll show you some of it, the cover on that page. Who is this by? Carn Griffiths. Mr. Griffiths discovered his love for organic painting one day when he was painting while drinking. And he accidentally dipped some of his paintbrushes in whiskey, and he liked that the whiskey added something to his piece. He liked what it did. So there are a lot of things in here about, let's see, sources, making liquids and materials for painting. There's a lot about using like alcohol and coffee, different kinds of teas. He does some simple things like make oak gall ink, which is very beautiful ink if you're interested in making some of your own things. He talks about using salt, gently lifting color. He talks about different shapes, using natural things such as leaves and sticks and twigs. So while this wasn't a great book for me, for someone who's not really into natural painting and hasn't experimented a lot with different methods of antiquing and things like that, this would be a really great, really useful book to help you break out of your shell. So, The Organic Painter. Learn to paint with tea, coffee, embroidery, flame, and more. This book, if you're into organic art, was a lot more useful for me. While it did contain a lot of things I already know, these things wouldn't necessarily be common knowledge, even though I would regard them as such. I don't know what common knowledge is. So this book approaches nature with curiosity and respect and lets your creative whims guide you. So they have different sections on using different landscapes. They have using raw materials such as found items for paintbrushes and tools. There are different sections on how to make your own things. Charcoal, for instance. I know a lot of you probably buy charcoal. Charcoal is really, really easy to make, and it's free. So don't go wasting your money on a bunch of frivolous art supplies. Make your own at home. There are sections. I really like how he has sections about making charcoal, and he uses every part of everything. Like the scrapings from the bark, he'll use to make paper later, which I thought was really neat. He's got sections on how to use the charcoal themselves. Homemade pens, if any of you are into making quills and things like that. Let me just do a quick flip through of some different sections. So he's got a lot of homemade pens. He shows you steps. Talks about making different paints out of inks, coffees, natural organic found materials. I actually just made a bunch of beet ink. Not with a recipe from this book, but berry inks. Lots of different techniques. Let's see. There's ink section. Soot ink. So if any of you are interested in making clay or ink out of dirt, you can make your own inkwells and paint dishes, which I think is really neat. A lot of paint reacts weird with certain things that you put them in, so you want to be specific about how you carry your paint. Pigments and paints. He talks about making different kinds of pigments. Sketchbooks and journals, how to make your own paper and all that. I thought this book was really cool. I think this is definitely a step up from this book. So I'd start here, and then I would go here. Finally, we have The Artist's Handbook. Now, this book is not for the faint of heart. There are a lot of different collected editions. One thing that I found, this book has everything. This book has been prepared for the purpose of giving the artist a complete and up-to-date account of the materials and methods of his craft, their craft, I would prefer. But one thing that I found in this book is it has a lot of really, really useful information, but if I want to know how to do something specific, usually it tells me how to not do that. So I do learn how to do the thing by learning how to not do the thing, which typically people don't want to do. But this is a very thick book. It's a very dense read, and there's a little bit about a lot in here. It'll take you a while to get through, but I definitely recommend to any artist having this handbook. So there you go. There are the 4 books that I am currently reading. So if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration or an art book to read or buy, or want to support any of these artists, you could probably buy them online now. Don't go to a bookstore. So, if you want to learn more about my methods and the different books that I read, the different materials that I use, how I find the materials, you can check out my Patreon, What the Fuck Now Amber, WTF, because it's palatable. Yeah, so thanks for watching.